I'm going to warn you in advance. This video is probably going to be a little bit on the frustrating side. And so I want to, in a sense, make it simple for you in one regard. No matter what happens over the next month to month and a half, I believe that my plan is that I am going to be taking money off the table in December. So if you saw my video from 2 days ago, I took a look at lengthening cycles, an examination of different points of view. Some people think we're going to peak in late December, early January. Some people think we're going to peak in May. Some people think we're going to peak in the fall of 2022. And so I'm weighing these things out. And, you know, for a lot of us who think that Bitcoin is going to peak in the next month or two, November is not going according to plan. I mean, we just got to be straight up about that. And so what happens next is very important, and we need to keep in mind the possibility that we're going to have a lengthening cycle. And if we have a lengthening cycle, or if we peak in December, either way, I think the best course of action is to take money off the table in December or early January, sometime around then. So let me give you some reasons why. I mean, first of all, let's take a look at the fear greed index. Be greedy when others are fearful. Be greedy when others are fearful. Be fearful when others are greedy. Fear greed index from yesterday is at a 34. I would expect it to be a little higher today. That's a good sign. I like seeing that. If you look at historically, over the last year at least, the fear greed index, late 2020, we were in the 90s for quite a while, and then we didn't really have much fear into the system until that May crash. I mean, there were some times that we did see some fear in the system. I remember this was a lot of there was a mudslide in China. And so the price dumped really hard to $51,000 from the 60s. And there was just a feeling of like, oh man, something's not right. And then of course the Elon Musk and China FUD that came in, hash rate. That's what happened in April. The hash rate dropped pretty hard. And so then we spent this prolonged period of pretty intense fear. But generally in bull runs, we don't have a prolonged period of intense fear like this. Even this in September was pretty extraordinary. Generally what happens is that around a score of 40 in a bull run, around a score of 40 is an ideal entry point. So for us to be at 37 yesterday, that is a good sign. But back to my main point, why am I taking money off the table in December? It's because of this. If we have a blow off top in December or January, then obviously we need to be taking money off the table. If we don't, and we have some kind of extended cycle, if we peak in May, or if we peak in September or even January of 2023, I shared this in my video 2 days ago, I would expect another bearish moment. Probably not as bad as, if you're looking at the fear greed index, probably not as bad as that 2.5 month, the 2 month period where it was just straight up fear. We were going to $20,000, no doubt about it in people's minds. Probably not that bad, but maybe will be a period in the 40s or so with the fear greed index. And so here's what I'm looking at. Here's 2017. Now I have the 20-week simple moving average here. And if you can see on my screen here, we tested this several times throughout 2017. July of 2017, we rode along this. If I can move back here a little bit, we just rode along this line all throughout 2016 and early 2017. I mean, that's a clean ride along the line. And then we started taking off. And in 2017, so July 2017, the 1.618 bottom, don't need to get into that. And then the September bottom, because September is always a bad month with crypto in bull runs in the 4-year cycles. And just same for 2021, we tipped it, or tapped it, I should say, and then we took off. We had in November that brief moment where we got somewhat close, but otherwise we were off to the races. And so it was very clean in 2017. It was as perfect as a bull run as you could hope for. And in the future, I hope for similar bull runs similar to it. And but look at 2021. 2021 has been a mess. I mean, again, you look at 2020, we rode along this 20-week simple moving average, and then late 2020, we just decided, hey, you know what? We know what's coming, so we're going to put a lot of money into crypto, into Bitcoin in particular, but other cryptos as well. And by this time, by April, the April 14th peak, we were too far gone. And so what does that mean? That means that we needed to, if we were to have a traditional bull run, we would need to get back to this 20-week simple moving average. But here's the problem. The getting back to that 20-week simple moving average injected so much fear into the system that there was just straight up panic. And then the China FUD, China banning crypto mining, for the, there's 178th ban, that caused us to dump far below this 20-week simple moving average. But then, we finally hit that bottom in July. We rode past it in September, tested it in September, like I said that we would. But here we are again. And now we're too far gone again. And so what needs to happen over the next couple of months? Either we need to shoot off to the stratosphere, or we need to come back down. This is just what happens in bull runs. We interact. We either get too far gone or we interact with the 20-week simple moving average. So will we have another moment like this where we spend, just a miserable time in the bear market? Will we have a time when people are saying, oh, it's over? Actually, no. Actually, what I think is going to happen is we might just end up riding along this. I think a drop from 58,000, we got a little under 56,000 to where are we now? The 20-week simple moving average is about $50,000. That if we got down to $50,000, we might spend a little bit of time below it, but then pop above it and then just ride that along until when? Until September. Let's just say we peak in September. We ride this along in September. We keep on raising that floor. Maybe in January, that 20-week simple moving average is at like $55,000, or maybe that's the bearish time. But like February, it's $55,000. March, it's $60,000. April, it's $70,000. May, it's $80,000. Something like that. We ride that up. We get to $100,000 Bitcoin sometime in May or something like that. And then all of a sudden it's in the news and everybody's asking you about Bitcoin. Oh, is it too late to get in? Where's Bitcoin going? And then we get too far gone over the summer and peak in September or something like that. That's just a scenario, a potential scenario that I could see happening. And so again, either we shoot off to the stratosphere now and it's over now, or we have some kind of extended run where we have to come back down to earth. So what I would think if we have this extended run is that we will have a new all-time high sometime by the end of this month or in December. And then that'll be the second peak of this cycle, which sadly will be a triple peak cycle. If we are to have a second peak, we can't go too far gone from this 20-week simple moving average. We just can't. So somewhere in the 70s or even the 80s, and that'll be it. So let's just say, all right, let me throw this out. December 15th, let's say we're at $80,000 Bitcoin. That's a problem in a sense. That's sort of a problem because at that time, hey, wait a second, if we're going to have this blow off top, we should be much higher than $85,000 in the middle of December. And probably $85,000, a lot of excitement's going to be in the system at that time. And, or sorry, did I say, I meant $80,000. There's going to be some excitement like any day now, there's going to be a blow off top. And let's just say we range around that $80,000 period or dollar amount throughout the month of September, or sorry, the month of December, and we don't have this blow off top, I think that what's going to happen is, yeah, we'll have an extended cycle. And so when everyone's ready to be getting in, there's going to be some kind of frustration. Like, wait a second, shouldn't more be happening right now? Or let's say it's at $75,000 throughout the month of December. Shouldn't something else be happening right now? Shouldn't we have this massive blow off top? Again, with this scenario, that's around the time that I will be exiting. How much will I exit? I don't know, maybe like 20%. Not of my Bitcoin. As you know, I'm not selling my Bitcoin, but of something else. My Ethereum, maybe some of my Ethereum, but my alts, a lot of my alts, I will be dumping them pretty hard. So probably not my Bitcoin or Ethereum now that I think about it. But if I'm doing just 20%, yeah, probably a lot of my cake, probably just some of the smaller cap cryptocurrencies that I own. So yeah. And to support just I'm telling you guys, I mean, I'm happy that today we're kind of bouncing back, but I'm seeing a lot of mixed signals right now, and we could go, oh man, I cannot stand this criticism. So basically what you're saying, we could go up or down. Yeah, pretty much we could go up or down. So Econometrics, follow them on Twitter. They just released this Bitcoin on-chain divergence. They do this about once a week. And, you know, you see what light blue, that's not a good sign. That means that whales are not buying and that smaller wallets are buying. You see dark blue, that's even a worse sign. That means whales are not buying and smaller wallets aren't buying. And so what you can see, and there's some inconsistencies here with another chart that I posted. I'm going to give some thoughts on that. What you can see since, you know, the end of October is very few people were buying here. And then now we're seeing some light blue, the most recent weeks up to $69,000. We're seeing some light blue here, which means according to Econometrics, which is, I think it's just one person named Tim that he runs that only the small buyers are buying. And so the reason why I'm saying that there's some inconsistencies is, look at this chart. I shared this the other day, and this one tells a different story. You know, at $69,000, we see a lot of whale activity. We see some dark purple. Dark purple's good on this chart. So who's right, who's wrong? I mean, this is a Glassnode chart. I tend to prefer Glassnode over anyone else, and I'm not excited about this inconsistency. One thing that I will just kind of point out, I mean, look at the similarities between here and here. There are some similarities, but look at, you know, one thing that I'm just looking at here is like there was a prolonged period where small fish were buying and whales were not. There was a period here where whales are buying, but you know, there was a range. This was a 13-week period of mostly just small wallets adding to their portfolios and whales not buying. And so maybe something similar is going to happen this time around where we have a 13-week period. We had our second peak. Maybe we'll have one more peak and then another drop in December. So that's something that I'm going to be paying attention to. Let's say we have a similar peak to Coinbase Day. So we get up to $75,000, have a similar drop in December down to $60,000. And then there'll be one, I would guess maybe one more bounce. If I see $60,000 Bitcoin after going into the 70s, like 60,000 flat Bitcoin, in my opinion, it's over. There is no blow off top in December. There's going to be an extended cycle. So those are the, you know, again, kind of the signs that I'm looking for in December. But who knows? Maybe we'll just have a blow off top, because what if this, let me point out again, what if this is just this? You know, you see September here. We had a period of light blue, not September, October. When was that? No, that was September. We had this brief period of light blue, but then all throughout here we saw lots and lots of red. And so I wouldn't be surprised if at $55,000, a little under $56,000 Bitcoin, people were buying, whales were buying that dip. And in fact, I know that because I saw some charts yesterday showing long-term holders and whales buying the dip. And so if this chart was updated to today, we would see some red. We'd see some more red here. So I don't know what to make of this difference. I tend to, because we see the same thing, instead of light blue, it's light yellow. So we see the same thing here. The thing that I'll say is I do tend to prefer Glassnode over econometrics. But I think in general, they paint a similar picture. And then another thing, so inconclusive right now. If we see Bitcoin skyrocket by the end of the month, if we see Bitcoin skyrocket in December, we're not going to have to worry about any of this, except for we're going to have to worry about exiting for sure. But again, stay tuned. I'm seeing mixed signals right now. Somebody pointed this out to me on Twitter, Nebraskan Gooner. He's seeing a Wyckoff distribution schematic being formed. And yes, I can see that the chart does kind of match the chart from the textbook. Okay. But then let me point this out. This person right here, Jeremy Meckler, I don't follow him. I never heard of him. He's saying this is clearly a point of accumulation. And Jesse Olson, another person who I don't quite follow, he's seen similar patterns with other things in the past, periods of Wyckoff accumulation. So here we go. Here's this question that we've been asking ourselves for the last few weeks. Is this a period of distribution or a period of accumulation? If it's a period of accumulation, we're going to pump higher soon. If it's distribution, then we're going to dump soon, maybe have one more rise before a dump. And here's the thing that I do follow Nebraskan Gooner. Just I want to follow people with different perspectives. I almost unfollowed him there. He is generally more bearish than most people. And so, and he was a bear in July. So let me just point that out. Nebraskan Gooner was a bear in July when I was not a bear, and who was right about that. And, there's several other people I can point to. The blockchain backer wasn't a bear. Pentoshi won't DM you. Follow him on Twitter, also wasn't a bear. There were very few of us who were bulls in July, and Nebraskan Gooner, for the sake of his credibility, I do like a lot of his content, but he was a bear in July. And so this doesn't surprise me that he would label this as distribution when others would label it as accumulation. We'll see. I tend to favor accumulation, but we've got to figure it out. We've got to see what happens over the next few weeks. Again, I'm sorry if that's frustrating to hear this processing that I'm doing in this video. But again, I think there's going to be an opportunity. I'm very much confident that there's going to be an opportunity to take money off the table in December in profit. And so the big goal here is just if we have an extended cycle and if we have another period of bearishness where, again, we have to go back down to this 20-week simple moving average and maybe wick below it, then I don't want you to be a bag holder even for a few months. This period in May was really frustrating. May to June, that was difficult because, a lot of us were bag holders. And so I don't want to see you be a bag holder. I don't want to be a bag holder myself. And so I'm putting together a battle plan for next month. And I think that if you follow that plan, things will go well for you, pretty well. I don't want to say things are going to go perfectly. They're just not. If we have a blow off top, things are not going to be going to go perfectly. You at the end of this, in the full blown bear market, you are going to have some regret. I guarantee you that. That is one thing. I don't like guaranteeing things, but I will guarantee you this: you are going to have some regret. The goal is to minimize that regret. And so I hope that I can be helpful with that. But otherwise, I'm going to try to make a video tomorrow. I'm noticing that my videos are being distributed to YouTube, that people who are watching these videos have never heard of me or never seen my channel before, and it's being shown to them. And so I want to keep on with this. And so, yeah, if you like this content and you are not a subscriber, please, smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. I would greatly appreciate your support, and let's ride. All right. Have a great weekend.